Hey guys, my name is Brielle, and I have a service dog named Arlo who decided to sit in front of the camera because he wanted to be difficult. Today we are talking about the different tasks that Arlo does for my different disabilities, and I wanted to kind of tell you guys about them so that when you see him do stuff in vlogs and stuff, you can kind of know what's going on. So this is just talking about his tasks. I'm not going to talk about everything. I'm just talking about his tasks, not like his other commands or skills or public access stuff. Just tasks. Hey guys, Editing Brielle here. So I just wanted to let you guys know that this is not all of Arlo's tasks. This is most of them, but this is not all of them. There's some of them that I just won't be, like, I'm not very comfortable with telling, all of YouTube about. Just because, it's my medical information and it's private, so I talk about, most of the tasks that you guys see on camera, but I'm not going to tell you guys about all of them. So this is most of his tasks. If you guys have any questions about something you've seen in a video where he does a task that I don't mention here or something, you guys can definitely ask it in the comments below. And maybe you'll get an answer. I hope that that doesn't like disappoint anybody. I just, it's medical information, so some of it's private. I don't really want to discuss all of it, but this is what I'm comfortable sharing with you guys. So I hope that this is helpful and interesting enough for you guys to watch the video. So thank you guys. One of the first tasks he does is called check, and basically what we use that for is he sniffs my breath to see if there's any issues going on, like if my cortisol is rising, if I might be getting a migraine soon, if my blood pressure is doing okay. Then he also does a leg scratch interruption. So if I am standing like this and I'm scratching at my legs, because that's one of the places that I've self-harmed in the past, and so I do have kind of this anxious thing that I do where I will scratch at that. And I started doing it when I was younger to like open the cuts that were down there after they were closed. But Arlo is trained to stop me from doing that. So he will paw me, or like he'll paw that hand and like try and push it away, or he will put his face right under my hand to get me to stop. And then similarly, I sometimes used to scratch, I still do, but I scratch at my wrists to open cuts on there when I used to do that. So it's become kind of an anxious thing. So he will, paw at my hand to get me to stop doing that. I don't do this as much anymore. I'm really proud of myself. Ever since I started painting my nails more often, I don't really do this. But he is trained to, when I pick at the skin around my fingernails or I'm picking at my nails, he will put his face between my hands to get me to stop. So the other thing is a breathing alert. So if I start to breathe heavy and it seems like I might be ready to pass out or something, he will come and paw my leg to let me know, hey man, you're hyperventilating. Chill the fuck out. And I will like decide like, oh, okay, I can calm down for a second. And if I don't think I can do that on my own, I will sit down and have him do deep pressure therapy. The dizzy alert that we do is if I'm kind of walking and he's healing next to me and I like am starting to kind of like sway a little bit or something, showing that I'm dizzy, which sometimes I won't necessarily like realize right away. He will jump up on me to let me know that I need to sit down right away because I'm like about to pass out. And Arlo will do under, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. There's also a cortisol alert, so Arlo can alert to my rising cortisol levels, which my cortisol levels go up when I'm about to have a panic attack. So I have not had a ton of issues with that recently. I switched medications and I think that I'm doing a lot better now, but he still knows that. So he will, paw at me to let me know, hey, you need to sit down, and I will sit down and we will do deep pressure therapy. Then there's also a Migraine Alert, which he will like use his nose and boop me to let me know that I'm gonna maybe have a migraine. Obviously this one isn't like scientifically backed a ton, but we have been able to train him that like he has like a 75% accuracy. So there's some times where I will have a migraine and he will not know, but like 75% of the time he catches it. Then there's the blood pressure alert. This is probably our most used task. With my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, my blood pools in my legs sometimes. And there's a couple different reasons for that. The collagen that's supposed to be surrounding my blood vessels and my veins and stuff isn't really there, so my veins and my vessels are weaker. So they can't always push the blood all the way up to my head in my brain where I need it. But it'll go pretty low, and so when it gets to that point, that's when I want him to alert, because usually it's just going to keep dropping. So I need to sit down, and usually I need to lay down. It used to be that I could just sit down and have him do under, and then like things would be fine. Now, like even when he does that, I still pass out. We were at 5 Below the other day, and I sat down and I'm like, we're gonna be great, everything's gonna be fine, and then I was just out.
Yeah, you were really loopy.
Yeah.
And he was under your legs, and like you were still like.
At that point, he alerts me, he paws at me to let me know, hey, you need to sit the fuck down. And this is where our intelligent disobedience comes in, because a lot of the time I straight up do not listen. So he has to keep alerting, or he has to like stop me from walking. Those sorts of things. Things that normally you wouldn't want your service dog to do, but he does, so that I will sit down and listen to him. So he'll paw at me, I will sit down, and he will do under, which again I'll talk about. But usually now I'm having to just lay all the way down and kind of get ready to pass out. It's not because he's like not alerting me soon enough, it's because there was a medication that I was on that was really affecting my liver, and we decided that it was best that I just go off of it. But it was basically keeping my blood pressure like elevated, so it was keeping it kind of up all the time. So the nice thing about that is because then I don't get to that point where like my blood all pools in my legs and my blood pressure goes down and I pass out. But I would still get to the point where it's like, all right, it's low, but it's not going to go any lower than that. So I would sit down and then we would do under, and then I'd be fine. But now I have to go off that medication because it was really affecting my liver, and it makes it so that it's really susceptible to infection. So really don't want that. He also is trying to do block, so he can do front block and back block, which we just say go behind, because I don't know, back block to me, I don't like it. I don't like saying it that way. Back block. Back block. Back block. So I like to just, when I tell him to block in front, I just say block. And then for back block, I say go behind. So he just stands in front of me to kind of give me like a barrier between me and the crowd or whatever. And then usually we're using back block right now, like if somebody is pushing a cart down an aisle and I have to like move to the side so they can get behind me, I always put Arlo behind me because it's safer that way. And then we have Orbit, which, to be honest, I have not used this task ever. I was told by my first trainer to train it, so we did. But
You still practice it?
yeah, we still practice it because I think it's a fun trick, but we don't really use it. So basically, Orbit is, if I'm standing here, Arlo will, I say orbit, and he goes around me in a circle to kind of do the same thing that block does, which is keep other people kind of away from you. I don't like it because either he has to be off leash or I have to move the leash around. And if I'm in a state where I need to have something blocked away from me, I'm not in a good mental state to do that. And I also don't like having him off leash, not because I don't trust Arlo. I definitely trust Arlo to be off leash. I don't trust other people, like around me. So yeah. Deep pressure therapy is, I mean, I've explained it. Deep pressure therapy is where I am sitting down and I put my legs out and he lays on top of my lap and provides pressure. He like pushes down in specific areas that provide a calming effect. So deep pressure therapy helps support sensory modulation. It triggers a calming reflex in the body when the individual is overwhelmed, and it helps reduce arousal levels and anxiety. It releases dopamine and serotonin, which is like the neurotransmitters in your brain that help you feel better. So that's why we use it. We don't use it as often as we use under, which is where I am sitting. I'll kind of back up here and show you. So if I'm sitting like this, you've seen it in a couple of my videos, I'm sitting kind of like this, Arlo will go under my legs and hold them up, because when I pass out, obviously they're gonna go like that. So he holds them up so that the blood that's in my feet or like in my legs is more likely to go to my head, because my head is lower. So with gravity, hopefully everything will move to where it's supposed to be. Arlo also does like a fainting response. For a while there, we like didn't really work on this because I wasn't having as many pass out episodes, so I think we really have to work on it, especially since basically he's going to be a really good guide for Michaela's service dog Sunshine in training, that kind of stuff. So I want to be sure that he knows it, and then once she starts learning it, she can kind of watch him a little bit. The only difference is Arlo walks when I faint, which usually we don't faint where he is like elsewhere. But if that did happen, he would walk up to me and he would go up to my face and check for responsiveness. Like if he comes up to me and obviously I open my eyes and I start petting him, obviously I'm not passed out. But if I don't do that, he's supposed to go do under my legs and like push my legs up. Right now he does checking for responsiveness really good, but we haven't really worked on the under after I've passed out in a while. Usually I will tell him to do under when I'm about to pass out, which is fine because he alerts me, so I already know what's going to happen, so I can do it ahead of time. The next task that he does is falling response. So when I fall, Arlo comes over and he, like comes over to me so that if I need to do brace, I can do that. His crying response, or like anxiety attack, depressive episode, whatever you want to call it, response, is when I like start crying, he will come up, and if I have my hands like this, he will put his face between my hands and kind of pull them away. Or he will just, if I'm not doing that, he will just start licking my face for sensory stimulation. And then I'll have him do deep pressure therapy when I'm ready. And then brace is basically Arlo standing completely still and locking all of his legs and all of his joints in place so that even if I like push on them, they don't move. So we also use forward momentum. So he pulls me forward towards wherever I'm asking to go, or if we need to go upstairs or something like that. Retrieval, we don't really use this that much, but he will retrieve a designated item like from the floor. Like if I drop my keys or something, he'll pick those up, or my phone. And he also knows how to take an item from me and hold it, and he also knows how to pick up an item and bring it to a different person, like not me. He knows hold. He's very good with hold. Carry, he does not know. Originally I thought it was really important for him to learn this. Now I don't think that I would use it other than like, oh, cool trick. So I haven't really bothered teaching it to him. Maybe eventually I will. He used to know a couple other things, but we sort of stopped practicing them and I don't really use them anymore. So, disabilities change, your needs become different, and so if you don't need certain tasks anymore, you don't need them. If you need new tasks that your dog doesn't know, but they're supposed to be fully trained, okay, there's still, still a service dog. Just train them those tasks if you need them. So that's kind of all I have for you guys for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and Every subscriber that I get is one more subscriber that I have. Isn't that wild? Every subscriber that I get is one more subscriber that I have. So that number down there, that subscriber count, it'll get bigger every time somebody hits the subscribe. Every like that I get is
more self-esteem that I have.
Yup. You wanna make my ego bigger? Hit that like button. You wanna make my ego smaller? Hit that dislike button. I don't care. It does the same thing for the algorithm. And then if you want to check out our Redbubble, has our merch on there. You want to get some merch, you want to get some Arlo merch, you definitely go check out our Redbubble. If you want to check out our Amazon wishlist, every time you guys send me something from that Amazon wishlist, I will open it in whatever next video I film and give you a shout out if you include like your name on a gift note or whatever. So definitely do that if you want a shout out. So thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment of whatever you want to see next, and I will see you guys next time.